Well, hospital porters, pride and dignity, stop the new world order. That's all I'm doing this week. We've got a swine flu victim here. Everybody run!
Not really. I've actually had it, so I'm not scared. Am I, Clint?
No, you're not. Hello, mate.
Hello.
How are you?
This is Clint Denyer,
Yes.
and he's a pro. He's a pro buddy, and he's done a speaker, and he's a speaker. Sorry, he's just done a speech. Hence he's a speaker.
It was interesting. There's a lot of interference
Yeah,
with the technical equipment before starting.
That happens every time to somebody.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how many times you rehearse and you try it out beforehand, you get all the wires right, make sure everything's
Yeah.
connected. Something goes wrong, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It happened to Ellis, really Ellis Taylor.
Yeah,
is,
lovely guy, Ellis. Yeah.
Ellis Taylor's a good guy, but he had the same thing, didn't he?
Yeah.
So tell us about yourself and what you do.
Myself, I'm a shamanic practitioner. I'm also a parapsychologist. I've done psychology, remote viewing, psychic practitioner, trance medium, and clairvoyant. So just about all things. But people get very confused with that because they think that they need to go and get that to be that person. I only had to do that, so people would take me a little bit more serious than I was before. So I had diplomas and things. But everyone's got that within them, and they don't need to.
See you, mate.
They don't need to have that bit of paper. But my talk was everyday observations of an average alien, which it's a new talk. It's going to take, everyone's a baby in lots of ways. It takes time to bed in and all sorts. And it's really a big message is about. There's lots of information over this weekend with lots of speakers coming talking about all sorts of different subjects, and it's just grounding people. I like to feel I'm a little bit of cement between bricks of knowledge and what's happening. I'm pointing because it's all right. So that people can sit back and stop and take a bit of notice of what's happening with inside themselves, because they can sit there and feed on all this information, but they have to actually open something inside themselves, and people can get locked sitting there, taking on all this information and resonating with it because they're building their own world or their own jigsaw or their own understanding. But at the same time, there's barriers and things around them that for themselves within that they can't get out of because they're in a cave too far, if you like, so they can't reach or grasp that.
It's a bit of an obstacle course, isn't it? 'Cause, I mean, it's been set up that way.
It's massive, and it's exactly the same like the Matrix itself, the world we're in. I mean, the reality that I talk about that we're in is artificial. This is a totally artificial concept. It's not, even though you're here and I'm here and we're doing this at the moment, it's a total artificial reality. It's not real. This is just something that we're in at this time, but we're in another dimension, looking back at this time as we're here now. And when we move into 2012, then we will have the self-realisation of actually seeing not just yourself in the mirror, but many other lives that you've had standing with you at the same time, because everything will convolute and come together as one body. But it is stopping people to give them a bit of a shake and say, hey, wake up now and do something, you need to do this. And of course, you know the big words, fear. Fear is one of the biggest obstacles that is in our reality, and that's the war in the world, is fear.
Well, there's no shortage of things to be afraid of. It seems like whenever you get hold of the media or speak to a politician, there's always another thing to be afraid of. When the Cold War ended, and nuclear war's not a problem now, so let's invent some new ones.
Absolutely.
Then
in between that, they're going to have wars in other places and all sorts as well. But fear is the one thing that as humans, as we are, if we don't have fear, and it's our brain that's telling us we need fear as an adrenaline rush, which we do to a degree, but we've got to confront it and smash the mirrors inside ourselves of the fear that we have. But when we've done that, only then can we get through to the mind, where really we feed all the time, even though our own brain itself stops us a lot of the time in reality by saying, oh no, you can't do this, or no, the battles and trauma and turmoil you have inside yourself. I said, you go to bed at night, you know you're with somebody, you still are with you, and you're not just one thing because you're a human being, but inside you, you're a pure soul entity being, which is another being in itself, and that's a multi-dimensional being where you can transverse, cross dimensions, go to different planets, do all sorts of things, and come back with the memories and knowledge as well. As well, and this is the key factor to where we sit with the Earth at the moment, the animalistic nature of what you are as well as a human, because you're not just a human being, you're an animal spirit as well, and an animal spirit, whatever that may be, is here in you that you've been to help put something back into the earth, to raise awareness of what's happening on this planet this time. So it's absolutely fascinating. And that was one bit of it. And then I shown some footage from Cyprus that I took 8 years ago and done nothing with. And I know I only showed a small part of it, but of plasma motherships. And that was inspired because I've never seen it like it before, from actually finding a website with Egyptian UFO hunter. Who's actually taken the same sort of footage in the same locations in Cyprus.
Yeah, that's remarkable when you get someone who backs it up.
I found it and I thought, wow, this is amazing, absolutely incredible, because his stuff is not that dissimilar to what I've taken. And plasma motherships basically, or plasma ships in itself, because we have the ideology and theories that spaceships, as we see on the news and what we see on television and in films, are these three-dimensional silver objects and discs and cigar shapes and all sorts. Well, in actual fact, they're like you inside. They're a cellular structure, no different to what we are, because we're energy at the end of the day. And these ships are energy in themselves, where it's literally like looking at a cell under a microscope. Absolutely remarkable.
I've never quite bought the classic extraterrestrial hypothesis, which these things are all nuts and bolts solid objects. They're just more sophisticated versions of our own spacecraft, you know, piloted by flesh and blood creatures like ourselves. I've always gone more for the sort of, when I heard about it, the etheric theory, the kind of, which links it to ghosts and other things, you know.
People say, well, how can they come thousands of miles across the galaxy? Because it takes us 2 weeks to go to the moon or something. Well, the fact is that because we do things in a certain way as human beings, and we have an understanding, it's a bit like when they say there's no life on other planets because they haven't got carbon dioxide, because they ain't got oxygen, because they ain't got this and that and all the rest of it. The fact is, they don't need it. They got technology well more advanced than what we've got, that we've got inside our soul. And that knowledge inside our soul is the ancient ancestry that we possess and walk with all the time at the moment, from our times when we've been Mayan, Inca, Aztec, and way beyond into other indigenous people, Eskimo and Aboriginal.
Because this ancient knowledge, I mean, is one that, you know, through the course of our history, through the course of the history of the last millennium, has the gearing of the so-called civilized countries has been to destroy it. I mean, the conquistadors, the missionaries, it's all, you know, they've destroyed it with a fury.
Which is supposed to be, you must obey to this book, this religion, whatever that book is. This is what you must obey to. And look at the Incas. You imagine the Incas who actually never seen a white man, right? They turn up. They're all tooled up with swords and Christ knows what else, and they don't even understand what these people are saying to them, and then they just kill them, and they stand there and they don't fight them back because they don't know what aggression is to these people.
It's a kind of It's really it kind of shows their true colours. It shows what they're really afraid of, what the Illuminati are really afraid of.
Absolutely, but isn't it the adage of what time we live in, when certain religious groups have to go knock doors to try and get people to join them, because otherwise people won't join them. The fact is, going back many centuries, they didn't. They just went out and got people, and if you didn't obey to that particular whatever it was that they were worshipping or looking at, then you're dead or you're gone, basically. And we still live in that very much Witchfinder General area, and that's come quite big in our reality right now, in trying to wheedle out or trying to destroy or defecate people that are working in a very pure line to bring out a message that people need to understand and know.
I've experienced a bit of that myself.
Yeah.
But well, I mean, we've got a little bit of tape left. In that time, tell us about your website and your products, so that people can get hold of you and learn more about you.
Yeah, I've got a new website, which is www.soundofthevibe.webs.com.
Sound of the Vibe.
Sound of the Vibe, yeah, all one word. It's about 2 years ago, I was told by my guides and my helpers that, because I've been doing talks for many years, that I need to move up a gear myself and move into frequency and vibration.
And you have some DVDs and things, don't you?
Yeah, I've got DVDs that I've done interviews with Dave Starbuck on The Unseen We See, Future Visions, Hidden Realities is another one I did. Also, I've got the Paranormal Hollow Earth on DVD.
I think we'll have to leave it there, Clint. But
Yeah.
Thanks very much. Hospital Ports, Pride and Dignity. Stop the New World Order. Thanks a lot.
Great. Thank you, man.